When you think of big mobile game companies, one of the obvious ones that comes to mind is Rovio, who are mostly known for making the Angry Birds franchise, but it hasn't always been like that. Even though the number of their non-Angry Birds games is really low, they did make a handful, and in this video, I'll be revisiting some of these forgotten titles. The first forgotten masterpiece that I'll be talking about is RETRY. RETRY is probably the most well-known game that Rovio has made outside of the Angry Birds universe. And it was pretty much Rovio's take at Flappy Bird, kind of like how they took inspiration from Crush the Castle and made Angry Birds. The success of Flappy Bird led to many clones of it appear on the app stores, and at around this time, Rovio was expanding the Angry Birds universe with games like Angry Birds Go and Angry Birds Epic. And RETRY was developed by Rovio Level 11, which was a division of Rovio with the focus of creating original games for the company. And at that time, they were looking for their next big title to put alongside Angry Birds. But I wouldn't consider RETRY a Flappy Bird clone, because Rovio took the core element of Flappy Bird, changed it massively, implemented a lot of other features, and made the game unique. Your goal in RETRY is guiding the airplane from one hangar to the other, while also avoiding the obstacles with simple touch or hold controls. But instead of flapping up and down, the plane would instead go forward. And you could even do loops, which were a really handy mechanic in late game levels. The whole game is also built using this amazing 8-bit art style. And while you could say it was directly taken from Flappy Bird, I'd say the amount of new things Rovio added to the environments did make it unique. And while you're playing the game's amazing soundtrack by Ted Stryker is being played, which is definitely worth listening to. And just the whole design of the game, even the 8-bit Rovio animation, was just pure art. Keep in mind that this game was made in 2014, and when you compare it to newer mobile games, well, let's not even do that. Similar to Rovio's other games, this game also had a star system that would give you missions to complete. And in later levels, there were lots of new mechanics, like wind, to make progressing harder. The name also fits the game very well, since you'll be spending a long time retrying every level. There were also retry points, or in simpler words, checkpoints that you could unlock by collecting coins and then spending them there, or by watching an ad, which was a really nice addition, because you could take a break without having to restart the whole level, and also have a checkpoint. And hey, if you're enjoying the video, then consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, it helps a lot. So, what happened to RETRY? Well, the game was at its peak after the release, but it never got any more popular since then. But even Rovio was expecting this game to become their next big title. However, that never happened, since people had already moved on from Flappy Bird. And even though they would add new content to the game every now and then, and even do collabs with their other games like Angry Birds Epic, the game just remained consistent. And eventually, in 2017, Rovio pulled the plug on RETRY and removed it from the app stores, since it wasn't really worth making the game compatible with newer devices, when it wasn't going anywhere. Rovio Level 11 also didn't last much longer and was shut down shortly after, which is a big shame, because this was the time when Rovio was actually crafting joy and not match 3 money printers. The next game on our list is Battle Bay. Battle Bay is Rovio's first ever multiplayer game, but it's not your average shooter 5v5. You see, the thing with many shooter games these days is that if you're good at one of them, you're basically gonna be good at all of them, because they are just reskins of each other with a slightly higher or lower quality. But with Battle Bay, things are very different. In Battle Bay, you control ships in a bay. Or in other words, there are water and wave physics. And you're in a naval warfare. So first you need to get in range of the enemy. Then align your shot with the moving enemy, and finally hope that they don't dodge or a wave doesn't block your shot. This mechanic has made Battle Bay a really unique game amongst other shooter games. There are also plenty of maps, weapons, ships, and other things. Each ship also has its own loadout for the battle. For example, the first ship you unlock is called Shooter, and all of its loadout is based on offense, while a ship like Fixer only has 2 weapon slots while having 3 healing item slots. Battle Bay also has hidden lore in each map and Easter eggs from other Rovio games. And just like any other Rovio game, this game also has an outstanding soundtrack. Now you may ask, what's the problem then? Well, you see, Battle Bay is a relatively old game, which was released in 2016. And until around 2019, it was doing great, and Rovio was even hosting invitational tournaments for the game. But after that, without a clear reason, Rovio didn't pull the plug but abandoned the game. Which basically means they won't remove it from the app stores, but it's considered a dead game to them, and they won't be supporting it anymore. Even though it had a pretty active player base at that time, kind of like the Garden Warfare 2 situation. This caused the game to lose most of its active players. Now, they did continue to update the game every now and then, whether it's bug fixes or making the game compatible with newer devices, and maybe even something new like ship skins. But for the most part, the game was really dead. However, a few months ago, they did release a big update for the game, after around 5 years, which added the new ship. And it kind of seems like they are starting to care about the game again, so if you're looking for a new multiplayer game, then give Battle Bay a try. You may even help the revival process just by playing. The last and also the oldest game on our list is Amazing Alex. Amazing Alex is a physics game, where you need to make contraptions to do what the level is asking you, while also collecting the stars in each level. Now, unlike Angry Birds that has a score system for collecting stars or RETRY that gives you missions, in Amazing Alex, you need to navigate the elements of the level in a way that they collect the stars while they're moving, kind of like Where's My Water, where you need to make the path in a way that you collect the ducks as well. In the first few levels, we are told exactly where to put everything in order to win, and the first set of levels are very easy to go through. But after that, things get slightly harder. But in this case, I'd say the difficulty becomes random, because you might end up wasting 5 minutes on one level, and the level after that is gonna take you like 30 seconds to beat. And since this is the oldest game, it also functions the worst on modern hardware. And since it's discontinued, the levels of the weak section doesn't work. You also cannot download new levels from the website since the website is also down. But what you can do is make your own levels, which is a pretty rare thing to find in a Rovio game. In conclusion, these games truly showed how Rovio once used to care about what they were making. They were truly crafting joy and not just match 3 games that only benefit them. But that's pretty much where the mobile gaming industry has fallen to. Which, for someone like me who has witnessed these golden years, it's just sad.